Hey, what's up everybody? My name's Christina and welcome to another episode of Mind Over Mania. We are doing another pick a group reading. We're going to be answering the question, what's missing and how do I gain it? And with today's reading, hopefully it will get you some more clarity about what's really going on with feeling as though there's something lacking in your life that's preventing you from being able to fully achieve finding balance with everyday living. So for those of you that weren't aware, I'm currently raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Since September is Suicide Awareness Month, I've got my merch Be the Voice tee going on here. So make sure that if you are interested in the cause, willing to donate, make sure you check out the website for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you the groups that you get to choose from for today. I am using paint today because it helps show what colors you should be adding to the portrait that is your life. You know, sometimes whenever you're making a piece of art, you don't always know what it's quite missing. And so hopefully adding a little color to your life will spruce up your painting and, you know, make things a little bit more bright and cheery. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the colors. So for group one, we've got this lime green going on here. For group two, we've got a magenta pink type colored paint. For group three, we have orange. We have group four, which is yellow. Group five, which is metallic blue. It's kind of a dark blue here. And for the final group, it looks brown, but technically the name is red ochre. So, yeah, but I'm just going to call it brown. Call it what it is. So what you're going to do is with each color, you're going to go ahead and take a moment and sit with your feelings and just allow yourself to naturally be drawn to a specific color. If you're drawn to more colors than just one, then feel free to watch all of those readings. It's very possible that you may find that there are multiple things missing that you need, and you know, feel free to check out different ones. Don't be afraid to explore a little bit and watch other ones. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the readings. See ya! Hello everyone, you have chosen group one, which is the green paint. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find out what's missing in your life. Now, I'm going to take a second to just kind of tap into your energy group one. Hold on a moment. So, okay, so group one, I feel like what is missing in your life right now is you feel as though you are lacking money, resources to be able to do the things that you want to do. So I'm feeling definitely there's just lack of abundance in your life, and you feel as though something's holding you back from being able to either achieve what you want, gain what you really desire, and you think that money or status is going to be able to somehow bring whatever it is that you want towards you. For some of you, this is a lover. I feel like you're trying to use material wealth to attract a person, either a partner or a, you know, business partner or some kind of, you know, achieving status even within your family, or you're just trying to use it to boost up your self-esteem in some way. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards though to get a little bit more information about what's going on with your situation in regards to what's missing. So what's missing from group one? Anything else? Missing for group one. Oh, don't be shy. I feel like there's something here that just doesn't want to come out. Okay. All right, so... All right, so you got 5 cards from here, and then 1 card from my Psychic Tarot deck. Okay. All right, so the first card that I flipped over says discontent and boredom. All right, you got this guy who's like in a castle, it looks like, but he's facing away from the sunlight and outdoors. And I feel like this card's very indicative of kind of what's going on with your state. I feel as though lack of resources is causing you to feel as though there's no progress going on in your life, or it's not progress that you want, or there's the grass is always greener type mentality, where you're seeing other people that are either they have more financial success than you, or they just have more things, more people around them, that what's happening is you feel as though it's a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses, but it's more than that. And what you're feeling is this void of... I don't, it has something to do with complacency. Like, it almost feels like if you don't have these things, if you are not taking if you don't look this way, if you don't take these actions, then that means that your life's unfulfilled, and that you're not taking enough action in your life. Or it's also a feeling of just, it's never going to be enough. You know what I mean? Like, you sometimes get caught up in the whole idea of like, well, I work so hard and I try, but I'm not achieving what I want. And so this feeling is almost like you're missing that appreciation for your own success, or again, something to kind of distract you from whatever feeling's going on under the surface. I'm gonna go ahead and flip over some more cards. Okay, so the cards you got were, you got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. You got the 7 of Wands. You got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. The Page of Pentacles upright. And you got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Now, for those of you that are not very familiar with tarot, pentacles in general tend to represent money, material resources, earth energy, that sort of thing. So it's kind of funny that you definitely have a lot of pentacles in your reading. And notice there's a lot of green in these cards too. So with the 6 of Pentacles right here, it's showing like this fountain with money that is pouring onto a plant that seems to be growing. And I feel like in your situation, Group 1, you're in the opposite. Money is being poured into the wrong situation. And I don't know if that's kind of... that's kind of indicative of what's missing. It's almost like, you know, you're trying to put resources into something that it's either not... I'm hearing, okay, so specifically going into what I'm hearing there's like an imbalance with how you're managing your resources and your time specifically. You're spending time on things that don't give back to you. You're spending time and energy on situations that don't reap any benefit to you. It's almost like, you know, when you're standing around in line for no reason only to find out you didn't have to stand in line at all. You know, there's just a lot of complacency towards the things you need to do, but then you're taking action in kind of the wrong way, because you're looking for a different result than what you're being drawn to. The 7 of Wands, you know, you've got this fox and this badger that are fighting, and I feel like you have a tendency to this is some kind of an inner conflict, but this tendency to resist asking from others, as well as resisting. I'm hearing like it keeps kind of going back and forth, because like it's a resistance towards gratitude, but it's not quite just that. It's almost like a resistance towards feeling gratitude, you know, because I feel like you do appreciate, after all the circumstances you've been through, you do appreciate your hard work, but it's a different type of appreciation. It's not felt at a deeper soul level. It's almost like you're running towards something and your head is telling you, yeah, this is what I want, this is what I want. But the rest of your soul is kind of going, what's the point? You know, why am I putting in all this effort? Again, your energy's going into different areas, and so it's not coming back to you, and it's making you feel this void of, well, what the heck? I'm putting all this work into something, but I'm not having that return. This Eight of Pentacles, so it's like a spider with the different pentacles caught in the web. I feel like there's this, it feels like you're trapped. So it's almost like you made some bad financial decisions that you now feel like you are forever stuck. Managing your money in a certain way to make up for the losses in the past, or again, I'm feeling the root of it is just this mismanagement of energy, and it's causing you to get trapped in your decision making, and it's leading to this missing feeling where you're like, is this what life is? I'm just constantly, you know, throwing money into this debt. I'm throwing money into things that I don't have this return, and so you're just stuck on your progress forward, and it's making you feel like you lack guidance and resources, or you kind of don't trust your own decision making. I feel like there's a little bit of a distrust because of lack of knowledge in the past, and you kind of put yourself down a little bit. I mean, you're not completely too hard on yourself, but you're hard enough on yourself in the sense that you feel like you should have done better with what you had at the time. Page of Pentacles. This card, I feel like this card's just kind of an acknowledgement that, you know, you're at the beginning stages in terms of understanding what your needs are. And so this missing feeling has a lot to do with knowledge, almost, on how to be able to achieve and find ways of filling this sense of lack. You know, you're missing knowledge on how to manage your finances properly. You're missing knowledge on how to resist spending more money than what you have. I feel like for some of you, that's definitely a big problem, where you have a tendency to just latch onto something and then immediately either you need it now or you feel like it's important, but then after you spend this money on something, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, was it really worth it? And it wasn't. And so that's where some of this distrust and entrapment feels like that comes from. So, yeah, so that's also kind of missing there. You're missing some fundamental pieces that will help you move forward in the right direction. And then finally, you've got this Seven of Pentacles, where it's this woman holding fruit, you know, and she's gathering fruit. I mean, here's what it looks like upright, and it's in the reverse. And so I feel like what's kind of going on here is you're impatient to reap the rewards of your efforts. It's almost like a farmer who just started off, planted some seeds in the ground, and then when his tomatoes grew, they were very small and they didn't really reap that many. And, you know, you're sitting there, you know, throwing a fit like, well, why aren't my tomatoes bigger? Why aren't they creating more fruit? And the fundamental reason is because you just haven't gotten there yet. You know, you can't pick, you know, the best tomatoes until after, you know, you've taken the time to make sure it's the right type of soil. Are you using the right fertilizer? You know, it takes time to grow. You know, whenever you plant a seed, you don't keep digging up the the plant to go see if it's growing or not. And I feel like you're either disrupting your pattern in terms of money, where you're like, well, I want to see my money. I want to see the money now. I want to see the money now. I need it now. And because you're kind of doing that and not thinking in long terms, you're not allowing your financial situation to change because you're not thinking about growth long term. And, it's a bit of a struggle because, again, you're missing some knowledge here that's kind of holding you back. But patience is really kind of more of the vibe I'm getting from this card, because again, it's almost like you want that end game result and it's just coming to, you're trying to pick it too soon. So, okay, so now that we kind of have an idea of like what's missing with your situation, group 1, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards on how do you fix this? How do you gain, more financial stability or more resources? Again, when I say resources, I want to be clear in the sense that money isn't always what you need. A lot of times people tend to associate, money as, the root of what they need in order to achieve what they need. And fundamentally, that's not true. You know what I mean? People can, give you items, or they can give you time or knowledge, or have different exchanges to give you what you need to achieve what you're trying to do, as well as meet your own needs. So just kind of keep that in mind, that maybe money isn't coming your way. However, there's other ways of obtaining things that can get you to where you need to go. So, try to think a little bit more fluidly. And plus also because people have a bit of an abstract idea of how money works. So, but hopefully I'll get a little bit more into that after I pull some cards. So, how is group 1 going to, find that missing piece in their life? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards. Ooh. Else. Alright. Alright, so these 2 decks again, coming back with some advice. Okay, short and sweet to the point. Okay. Alright, so the cards you got were, you got intuition, you got justice in reverse, and then you got the world in reverse. And so the guidance here, I'm going to start with intuition first, is you need to trust in your own journey and take the time to understand that you're exactly where you need to be right now, and that, financially, even though you feel like something's missing, you have what you need right now in order to do what you need to do. And try not to focus on the how so much. Your intuition is trying to guide you in ways that, honestly, logically, you can't understand. And when you don't have faith in your own ability to sense your way through things, like especially with financial situations, like, if you're trying to, for example, buy a house, and you're thinking like, man, I really like the location, I really like this house and whatever, but something in your gut's telling you, don't buy that house. Don't buy the house. All right? Your gut's not saying it for no reason. And, especially as, someone who has only become an intuitive within recent years, my ass was saved so many times from just having a gut feeling, financially or career-wise, just because I listened and then saw the aftermath afterwards. And don't be afraid to utilize that when it comes to, your situation. Another thing too is like, you can always ask and put that out there into the universe. Like, it never hurts to sit there and say a little prayer to God or the universe or whatever you believe in, to say, hey, I'm struggling with this, please send something my way. Now, it may not always come in the form of money, cash, because that's what everybody wants, but that's not ultimately what you need. Because from the standpoint of, say, you're trying to get some financial stability to, pay your bills every day, sometimes that comes in the form of you got to redirect resources from somewhere else to put towards your rent. And if those other things can be taken care of by either asking for help from a friend or finding other means, maybe, either taking up a second job or doing different things, there's ways that you can manage it. There's not one way to manage money, and everybody has different things that work for them. So maybe taking the time to really feel out your situation and also try to understand, what exactly is your financial situation from a feeling standpoint, because you may feel like you're always pushing your money towards something that you may find out that actually isn't worth your time and effort, Like if you know that your debt's so big that, whittling it down is not going to make that much progress, kind of look at, your other areas. Like obviously, you still need to pay for your food. You got to pay for some of those other basic needs. So take some time to just feel out your situation, and whatever's kind of a pain point right now, focus on that. And, that might be a good first step. And again, intuitively, let your heart kind of guide you. Especially when it comes to what is a priority in your financial situation. Because I have a feeling at least there's a group of you, maybe about half of you, that you're focused more on materialism and materialistic outcomes rather than, what is actually what you need, Because at the end of the day, just because you have a bunch of fancy things or a bigger house or whatever, it's not necessary in order to live a happy, better life. And maybe putting all that emphasis on having those items and money is causing that void. It's just a shift in perspective to understand that, you don't lose any power or gain any power by having money. That just comes with it. And I can definitely do a reading or a recording talking specifically about the association with money and spirituality, because I've had that question before. But feel free to ask questions in the chat if that's something you guys are interested in. But anyway, so moving on to the rest of the cards. So Justice in reverse. I feel like all of you, or at least a lot of you, feel like you were slighted in some way. Like there's a little bit of resentment here against society, the system, yourself, and I feel like part of the reason why you're reaching out and struggling in terms of your financial situation is because you're kind of focused on other people and, not focusing on what you have control of, and not taking accountability for your own choices in financial situation. Like if you went out and you spent all that money, no one put a gun to your head and said, hey, go buy that Gucci bag, or, no one put a gun to your head to go and be reckless with your finances. You have to own your side of it too. And I think when you feel like you have control over your financial situation and you can be honest with yourself, it'll make it much easier for that give and take of your resources, because time is also a resource. I feel like, if you're not spending so much time in an area that's not giving back to you, you can't blame that other person for wasting your time if you're not having the boundaries to say, well, I don't need that. And some of you, it's under the guise of being nice, but we both know it's not truly because you're being nice. It's because you're trying to achieve a goal, or, again, this lack of self-discipline and control. So take some time to just be a little honest with yourself, and it will allow you to, I feel like a good chunk of you, it'll really help you snap into the right direction once you kind of realize, hey, this isn't a money situation, it's a self-discipline issue. It's me not making the choices of prioritizing, hey, these are my financial goals, and unfortunately, maybe for the short term I have to sacrifice not having fun on Friday night, but, it's going to get me closer to where my goal is and towards freedom on my own path. So, again, you kind of centering yourself around your controlling yourself is important. And then finally, the world. The world being in reverse, I feel though, I feel like there's a reluctance towards getting out there and seeing different possibilities. It's almost like, you know, I feel like due to your situation, you're probably struggling a little bit. Again, if finances is kind of, you know, a touchy subject for you, I have a feeling that due to either lacking funds, either from growing up or, you know, botching up a situation and you don't have money, or it's kind of hard right now, you feel like money keeps slipping through your fingers. It always keeps going somewhere else. And due to that, you're kind of in a position where you think there's only one or two options for how you manage your money, and that's it. You're like, I've got this debt, I've got these obligations towards my family, I can't gain control because this is how I know to do things. And quite honestly, that's absolutely not true. Look up different ways of, you know, either making side money if that's something you need, or finding better ways to budget. Or again, once you get this self-discipline, you know, you're going to realize there's a whole, you know, world of options out there for managing your resources better, so you don't have to feel strapped all the time. And, you know, there's financial advisors out there. There's all kinds of websites with ideas of budgeting tips and things like that, that you have control of your financial situation. And it takes some time. Like, again, you don't want to be like that farmer digging up the gold every time, but eventually it will grow into something that will, you can get out of your situation. You know, and again, there's plenty of finance gurus out there to help you. Just don't let your mentality stop you from being able to explore. You know, again, I feel like it's part of the reason why you're not looking is because, you know, there's a bit of pain associated with it, you know, and it kind of hurts when you realize that, hey, I didn't make the best choices. And, you know, again, you didn't have that information at the time, but now you do, and now you have a chance. So, you know, just don't give up, and, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. You know, finance is hard, and especially if you're not good with math, or maybe you weren't raised in an environment that people manage money appropriately. You know, go easy on yourself, and just, you know, there's always time to learn and improve. So, but anyways, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch. That is your reading, and I will see you guys next time. Again, leave any comments down below with feedback, and if you have any requests for some future finance readings, hit me up, because that is my game. So, alright, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye! Hello, everybody. You have chosen Group 2, which is the pink paint. And we're going to go ahead and dive in to find out what's missing in your life right now. So, I'm going to take a second to tap into your energy. I feel like right off the bat, I got this, like, this is a sassy group, or something about, maybe it's this color, you know, this is like a really sassy color of magenta there. But I feel like you guys, you're here because you're missing resolve. Okay, so you guys are seeking resolution with a particular situation. For some of you, it's romance, but for a lot of you, it just has to do with the word keeps like slipping from my mouth. It's almost like you're chasing resolve from something that you can't see. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards to get some clarification here about, you know, what's missing for you guys, Group 2. Is this the right deck? All right. What's missing from Group 2? Yeah, but there's definitely something that you're trying to, it's elusive. And maybe you don't know what it is off the bat. Some of you might know, but it's the result is a bit confusing here. No. Alright, so nothing else from... Alright. Getting this deck, so what's missing from Group 2? Anything else? Okay. That's it. Okay, nice, short, and sweet. I like it. So... I feel like there's a word I keep hearing, and I heard it initially when I picked up or tapped into the energy, but it wasn't fully complete. But I feel like the word spite is in here. I feel like you are feeling kind of spiteful towards a particular person, a particular situation, something in your past that was just brutal. I'm hearing the word brutal. Like, you feel like you were either beat up for something, that it wasn't fair. Wow, damn. There's a little bit of there's different energies going on here, but this is kind of like what's collectively kind of going on through a majority of you right now, group 2. So starting off with the cards, I'm going to do the oracle cards first before this, but the first one is heart chakra. And I definitely feel like there's some kind of, I heard sickness in the heart, where it's almost like you can't let go of the situation. You are just very dead set on, this was your fault, this was their fault, this, if this hadn't happened to me, then I wouldn't be in the spot I'm in right now. Like, I can't forgive this person. I can't, like, it's almost like you keep kind of going through this loop of just heartache or whatever, because whatever hurt you was just so painful that it doesn't allow you to see kind of beyond the pain from this feeling. And then another one right next to it, you've got stand your ground. And originally it was reversed, but I felt like it shouldn't have been. Maybe it just needed emphasis, but I feel like you have a hard time standing up for yourself, group 2, because of this resentment. It's almost like I heard like battle axe and battle shield, like almost like, you know, you were in a battle and your will was broken. Like, I feel like you were broken down or beaten down, or that's how you're feeling, and because of what's happened to you, you can't get up. Like, you're kind of in this spot where you're like, well, I was beaten down so badly that I just can't get up anymore. I can't go on. I can't do this, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're kind of like, you know, trying to, you know, put more energy and emphasis on the other person's actions than on your side, because you're just like, it's too hard. And what's interesting with this last card is you got the 3 of Swords in reverse, which I'll show you what it looks upright. I love this card because it's got this skeleton that's standing on top of another skeleton with a sword straight through its chest. It's 2 swords, and it's sitting on the other one's head. And I feel like there's a lot of bitterness here, group 2. Man, here I was sitting here thinking, like, y'all, this was going to be, you know, the love group or whatever. Oh, hell no. No, I mean, love has maybe something to do with this, but, like, again, this card, it's like this bitter sadness where you feel as though you keep beating yourself up and can't get out of this loop of, why me? You know, why did this happen to me? Why did this person do this to me? They were supposed to love me. They were supposed to be, yeah, they were supposed to be my savior. They were supposed to be what I wanted them to be, but they weren't. And, you know, why do they keep shoving swords in my back? That, or you're shoving swords in their back continually, because it's almost like, you know, they did this to you, and so then you got to go back and just keep stabbing them back, and then the cycle continues over and over. Wow. No wonder you've got this lacking feeling, because it's almost like you're missing resolution from this loop, because it's almost like you've been in it either this came on suddenly, or you've been in this loop of perpetually just, they attack me, I attack them, they attack me, I attack them, and so what's missing is resolution. Like, there's like what's missing is this release from this pattern and this pain, but also accountability. Like, there's missing accountability from what happened, and you're like, what you're feeling, group 2, is that justice needs to be resolved, but justice has already been resolved. It happened a while ago. You're just in an old pattern that it's almost like the echoes of what happened over and over, and you're hanging on to something that wasn't meant to be perpetuated forward for so long. Again, I feel like you're just in this pattern that's in your head. Like, again, like, I'm just feeling physically, the loop is in your head, but it's not in your heart anymore. Your heart is dealing with something else. So, okay. How do I want to proceed with this? I guess I'm going to move on and pull for the next part with, how do you gain resolution? Like, how do you gain resolve from whatever happened to you? So the first thing I heard was patience, because you're in a healing process right now that is kind of undisclosed from this reading, because I think it varies by each individual and what your topic is for what's causing this resentment. But patience overwhelmingly is what you're going to need with yourself and with that other person, because I feel like you're expecting them, okay, your expectations are unrealistic with what they can give you. Like, you keep saying, oh, they need to do this, and then I'd be better. If they do this, then like, shut the fuck up, own your side, and then let them take care of their side. And, you know, they're clearly going through their own stuff, so make sure that you're taking the time to just be patient and understand that they're a human being. Regardless of what pain you're going through right now, like, they've got their own stuff too, and they're responsible for their stuff. So, you know, you can't keep basing your happiness and your ability to regain closure off of their actions. That's an inside job. Okay, that was what needed to be addressed off the bat. So, what can we do to gain resolution from this situation? How do we let go of this bitterness? And anything else? Something else? Anything else? Okay. Nope. All right. Short, sweet, to the point. Ooh. Yeah. Something about switching these around just kind of, it did something to my spine. All right. So Oracle cards first. So. Oh, that's interesting. So the first card you got was Destiny, and you got this lady with all this Mandela stuff and shining beacon of light, and then you also got emotional loss, and then it's like shell thing in the back. And it's kind of interesting because when I picked up Destiny, I have a feeling like this is not unrelated, but your destiny was tied to this person or this situation. There's a reason why you went through what you went through, and it's supposed to be teaching you what you need and to figure out this missing piece. So I apologize that I don't have a direct answer to what that piece is, but that's part of what your journey is. And I can already hear half of you rolling your eyes going, oh my God, I keep hearing this from intuitives. I keep hearing this from my friends, my family, blah, blah, blah. Why can't I do this? And like, that's ultimately what the problem is because you keep looking externally to other people, other sources, than taking the time to listen to yourself. Like this lady in this picture has a hand over her chest, over her heart space. And notice you had heart chakra as the first part of this reading, what was missing. You got to go into your heart space, honey, and really evaluate how you're actually feeling. Because I have a feeling you're replaying this pattern. It isn't what you're actually feeling. You're just doing it to deflect from something else that's going on and the deeper rooted pain. Again, you got emotional loss here. And this shell, it's a cycle. and healing, eventually you get to that center and it gets smaller and smaller, the highs and the lows. But you have to understand that it takes time, and healing moves in a spiral. It's not linear. You're not always going to be, taking 1 step forward and 5 steps back. Like, there's a sequence to these things. Now, one thing I wanted to point out was the color of the mandala in the back of this first card is the literal exact same color of this pink. And I feel like it has something to do with lifeblood. I don't know why, I just felt, I have to say lifeblood. Like, almost like either it's a pattern in your family where there's a family issue that needs to be healed that's tied to this resentment, or it's has something to do with your spiritual path, and that whatever is making up your spiritual path, it's all these different things intertwining and lacing into who you're becoming, and you get to control who you become. All right? I feel like you don't really hold yourself accountable for your own creation process of who you're becoming, because again, you're so focused on the external of what happened. And, it's because also, like, you're afraid of your own destiny. You're afraid to let go of the situation because you're afraid of what it's going to lead you to. All you have known is this dysfunction. All you have known is this, bad situation. And in order to ignore what you're supposed to be going towards, you're focusing on this old thing that you already know it's old news. All right. And you can't play this with me because I'm literally like, I felt people for these readings. I felt when, that gut pain is in your heart. It's not in your heart space, honey. All right. This is all in your head. You're so much in your head because you don't want to even touch your heart space, because that means facing what the real problems are. Yeah. Oof. All right. There's sassy pants. All right. You can sit there all you want and say, I don't understand. Yes, you do fucking understand. And, you can't lie to me. And you can't lie to yourself. But that's what you're here. And, like, again, stop going to these intuitives that they're just, some of these intuitives are justifying how you feel and aren't actually giving you the solid advice that you need to hear. Because it's kind of just perpetuating this victimhood mentality of like, oh, well, just like, apply love to the situation and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you should, but sometimes love also means putting your foot down and saying, no, I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I'm not putting up with feeling helpless anymore. The cycle needs to stop, and, it ends when you say it's going to end. All right, you have that ability to do that. You just don't want to hear it because it hurts, and it means, facing some pain that you don't want to. But, and that's why it's easier to pretend that that old situation is what's really hurting you. Okay, like, that's why you're doing this, is because there's something way deeper going on that you can't even touch. And that's why it's easier to focus and talk about. That's another thing, too. You can't talk about what's going on over here. Because this over here, because it's easy, you can say, okay, this person did X, Y, Z to me. I can blame that person. I can talk about it with other people. But this thing, there's no way in fuck I can even begin to talk about this with somebody. Not a therapist, not my friends, not even myself. And this is true. And the reason why I'm being this kind of harsh, I feel like you might feel I'm being judgmental towards you, and I'm not. I'm telling you this because this is you from you, okay? Because you're tired of this shit. That's why you're here. And I'm telling you that the moment you decide to let this go, this journey, regardless of how scary you think it is, it's going to be worth it. I know that this pain that right here is going to be very hard for you, and it's going to be difficult. It means letting go, because this situation was bad. I ain't telling you that you shouldn't be mad about this, but this is a cover-up for what work you actually need to be doing. And again, you got destiny. You're destined for so much more than what you're doing, and you fucking know it. So don't give me this whole, oh, I can't make it through this. I think that's what scares you, is you know that on the other side of this big bulking pain is an unknown. And it's amazing. And it means that you have to face ignoring this destiny for so long. And you feel like it's going to pass you by. And you want it to pass you by because you don't know what this is. Okay? And you're in a very tough position, you know? So I feel for you, Group 2, because, again, you're not being resistant for no reason. You know, you were hurt really bad. Wow, now all of a sudden I want to cry. Damn. But, I mean, it's true. And, you know, I want to say that I believe in you, and, you know, it's okay. I want you to understand that you can get through this. You know, that there is something better, and that it's okay. Take the time that you need to, you know, like, just because you're deflecting, like, maybe you're not ready, but I think you've been ready to move on, to face this for a while now. You just need the boot in the ass and the reassurance that you're going to be okay. Again, what's on the other side of this thing that's going on here, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and it's everything that you've been secretly wanting and hoping for. You just have to be brave and understand that, you know, life isn't without risks. To live life, you are always going to get hurt, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a fulfilling life, you know, and that this wonderful, beautiful state right here, I mean, yeah, occasionally you're going to get hurt here, but this state is way better than what you're fucking doing right now. And excuse my French, but, like, you know, I feel like you haven't been listening. So that's why I'm cussing at you, because you know. And your guides know you know. Alright, so I'm going to kind of wrap it up to get to these last two cards. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Spooky dude. And we've got the Empress. And so I feel like for how to regain this missing piece of your life, I mean, I feel like this just unlodged a whole bunch of stuff for you, Group 2, but I have a feeling... Alright, so I'm going to quote one of my favorite shows from Letterkenny. And basically the message is, get off the cross, we need the wood. And it's basically like something about like this image right here of this guy with this crown of thorns on his head and roses. I feel like you're crucifying yourself and trying to make yourself a martyr, but like, here's the thing, no one gives a shit. No one's going to take you down off the cross. You got to do that for yourself because you put yourself up there. All right? You know, just because something bad happens to you doesn't mean you're going to lay down and take it. Now, granted, as someone who's been through hell, I mean, it takes time and it's hard. However, in your particular case, Group 2, what you got to understand is, you know, no one's coming to rescue you. No one's coming to change your story or whatever. Like, your story is what you're creating. And the moment you take your crown of thorns off and understand that you deserve a better life than what you're doing, and you deserve to treat yourself better, you know, maybe that's something you don't want to face. You don't want to face that you've been, you know, not taking care of yourself this whole time. And, you know, going through that forgiveness process is going to be hella hard, but you can do it. I believe in you. Your guides clearly believe in you because they sent you here to get your ass kicked, you know? But you can do it, you know? You just gotta just relax and understand that, you know, life doesn't have to be suffering like you think it does. And again, the Empress, I'm going to close it with that. Like, she is a goddess. She's a queen. She's sitting on her throne, and that can be you. All right? You are a goddess. You are a king. You are whatever the fuck you want to be, and you're glorious while you do it. And don't let, you know, some shitty person from your past prevent you from achieving that. There's no reason why you should be suffering the way that you are. I have a feeling some of you think this is how it should be. This is what I deserve. And, like, of course you don't. You know, especially when you're meant to be a queen. You know? I ain't telling you that, you know, you ain't shit, because you're not. You definitely are supposed to go somewhere else and go and be glorious while doing that. So stop dealing with peons and people that are not, you know, willing to support your throne, you know? All right, well, anyways, Group 2, that was a little bit of a harsh reading, but I hope you gained what you needed out of it, and, you know, sending you guys lots of love and good luck on your journey, because you got a doozy, but as I said before, we're in this together and I believe in you. So anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello there, Group 3. You have chosen orange as your color for your group, and so I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to tap into your energy to find out what is missing in your life. Okay, so immediately I'm feeling, it was almost like I felt like an orange color just rolled down my throat and into my heart space, something to do with your past. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a sad one, or at least I feel like you're grieving something that is causing you to feel a void in your life. Like, this is almost as though this is multifaceted, Group 3. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to keep this general, because the stuff that you, oh god, fuck. I'm like getting a headache just feeling what you guys are going through, because this is going to be the heavy group. Okay, that's fine. But what I want you to understand is the resolve that you need, Group 3, is not going to be achieved with just one single reading. This is going to be one of those readings where I'm going to do my best to tell you guys, since you're a collective group that needs called out, I'll tell you what is most applicable to all of you, but I definitely feel like you're going to need individual type readings specific to your situation, because you're dealing with a lot. So don't chalk, all your stock into this one reading, because there's a lot more going on here. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to pull some cards to just kind of get a vibe for what exactly is the overall meaning for, or message of what is missing. Okay, so the word I heard, since it just kind of popped into my head right now, trust. So trust is going to be the main theme with this reading. God, I want to like cry. Group 3, wow, I'm sending you guys a big old hug right now. Because, wow. So what is missing for Group 3? Alright. What is missing for Group 3? Anything else? More? Come on there, little doggy. Alright. Is that all? Okay, so no other cards want to come out right now. Whew. Damn. This got some energetic stank to it. And by stank, I mean it's really painful. Oh man, okay, yeah, so the two cards, I guess that's important, these are in reverse. So the two cards you got off the top that were reversed were partnerships and alliances. Got these two hands. And then you got suffering and silence in reverse, which I feel that is overwhelmingly loud for you guys. Holy cow. Okay. Gotta take a step back from that. The other cards you got were rest and rejuvenate. And I was told immediately that's missing. And then positive movement forward, which was also upright. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna regain myself because y'all are making me work. You're sorry, I have to laugh just because you're really desperate for an answer here, Group 3, because you're just completely distraught with your situation and you feel like there's no way out. I feel like for a bunch of you, you're probably secretly suicidal, or at least some form of self-harm, whether it be through literal self-harm or through different patterns and behaviors that are oriented that way. And any type of self-sabotage. Like, that's definitely what your wound is right now. And so you're trying to figure out, like, what the fuck am I doing that's causing me to do this to myself? And again, that lack of trust, like when I saw partnerships and alliance, you are missing love on multiple levels. You are missing, you know, specifically group love, I'm hearing. You probably have some family trauma, definitely, all of you. If this surprises you, then, you know, you didn't come to the wrong place. But yeah, you have a distrust of people, especially large groups of people, and you feel as though you've been betrayed at least once majorly, but for some of you it's a reoccurring pattern. But if not at least over and over again, there's definitely been one major instance that caused you to just completely distrust your ability to find love from others. And we've got a good little Luna Tuna here to help reassure you that, you know, people do still care about you. And, you know, she's sending her little warm, fuzzy regards. But this suffering in silence card, you are not talking about your issues in the ways that you should. I feel as though you have a tendency to bottle things up really badly because, again, due to this distrust or mistakes in the past where you trusted the wrong people or the wrong person, and that caused you to completely shut down trusting others at all. Like, I feel definitely group 3, you do not communicate with yourself either, because you've kind of shut down to a point where you're like, what's the point of telling myself the truth about how I'm feeling, because I don't do anything. I don't take actions to protect myself from others. I don't listen when I'm sad. It feels like I've been sad for so long that, you know, nothing I do fixes it, so what's the point of even telling myself how I feel? There's so much just silence because you don't even have words to describe some of the pain that you're going through. I hope that makes you feel validated, because there's definitely a piece of you that just wants to say so much to you. It can't get through because it's just all pain. This rest and rejuvenation card is like, I feel like that's definitely missing in your life, where you feel as though you're running on empty constantly. You feel like you either don't get enough sleep, you can't get sleep, or when you sleep, it does not feel restful. And your body is just worn out. Either you have a hard time keeping in shape, or don't take care of it, or you don't go outside as much as you probably should. You're stuck. You're stagnant. And then again, positive movement forward. I feel like you are missing this so desperately. Like, you're sitting here, you came to this reading because you wanted a sign that, 1, you can get through this, and 2, is this going to change? Is this pattern going to change? Do I have hope that I can get out of this mess? Because whatever's missing is a sign that you can move beyond what you're going through. Because I feel like, again, for a lot of you, you've been going through this for a long time, but some of you, it occurred kind of suddenly, and it took you off guard, and so now you're suddenly going, oh my god, can I get through this? I don't know if it has something to do with recent circumstances with COVID, but no, it's not COVID. But at least though, COVID's definitely not helping with the whole seeing movement forward. But yeah, that's what's kind of missing is, again, there's a lot of distrust that things are going to get better. And that's what's missing in your life, is that, you know, you're just looking for a sign. Oh, damn. Group 3. I want to hug every single one of you that's watching this. Oh. Wow. Yeah, the front of my head, like specifically right between my eyebrows, hurts so much. Not like I've been banging my head against a wall, but almost like I've got like my head's resting on my knuckles there. Because I feel really defeated and slow. Wow, okay, well, now that is out of the way, I'm gonna use some selenite here to kind of cleanse that space for a second. How do you figure out how to get through this? That's essentially what the answer is. Like, how do I get through this? How do I find a way of gaining this trust back? So, I mean, I think maybe it gave you some relief to understand what specifically you're missing, Group 3. Now, you're missing in a lot of areas, so I don't know if you should watch all of these ones. Maybe not all, but make sure you go back and maybe watch a couple other ones that are coming up, because I feel like that will help you out. But yeah, I'm hearing there's going to be a later one that's going to help you. However, yeah, again, trust is not something that is going to come easy, and it's going to take some time to get there. You don't want to hear that because you want relief right now. And I understand, because of the fact that I've been in your spot, Group 3, and, you know, it feels like it's going on forever. It feels like, you know, you're not going to get through it, but you are. You definitely are. And I'm going to tell you why, but I'm going to use the cards to explain it, because I feel like, again, every one of you's situations is very unique and different. And so make sure that regardless if you don't want to reach out to me, or some of you are very resistant towards therapy or talking to people, if you are in that boat where you just feel like you can't talk to somebody or whatever, at least try to listen, you know, and talk to yourself. I think that might be the first step in helping you figure this out, because, again, as I mentioned earlier, you're not communicating with yourself. And ultimately, that's the first approach you need to take when it comes to being in this state, because you're in your own ship, okay? And, you know, you're the captain of that ship. And if your crew members are constantly, you know, setting the mast on fire while you're trying to, you know, get to land to figure things out, like, you know, you got to tell your crewmates, hey, stop lighting the damn mast on fire. Or at least, you know, have that conversation of asking, well, why? Why is it that every time I try to talk with you, nothing happens? Like, you've got so many multi-layers. It's almost like there's a tangle that you need to start undoing the knot within what's going on inside your head. And the first step is just asking yourself why, and not being judgmental. You're very hard on yourself, Group 3, because of the fact that you don't know how to approach yourself and cope with what you're going through right now. That's really what's happening, is you don't know how to cope, and you don't have that conversation skill with yourself yet that you can understand why you're doing what you're doing or what's causing these things. And that's okay, because, for example, I'm going to use work as an example, because that's something everyone can relate to. But if you are approached with a problem, okay, and say, how do we figure it out? Well, the first step is to figure out, like, well, what's wrong? And why, or what is causing it? You know, like, what are the different things influencing this situation? And, you know, if you take that approach with work, you know, why wouldn't you apply that to yourself as well? You know, because I feel like, you know, as much as you need love in your heart space, with the state you're in right now, that's not going to work. Like, you've already tried the whole, you hate the love and light shit because you don't feel like you deserve it, you feel like it doesn't work, or there's just a resentment towards receiving love in general because it fucking hurts, you know, because you've been burned and it just reminds you of something that you constantly have slipping through your fingers. So, my advice is take a step back and take the emotions out of it, and just go be procedural when you're dealing with this piece of yourself that's self-destructive, and say, okay, well, why? And let it talk. Don't attack it, just let it talk. And that will already solve probably 50% of your problems off the bat. And, you know, you gotta be patient, you know, and be stubborn, and understand, like, again, it's kind of like, deal with it like it's another person. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna say all kinds of shit, but you gotta stay, you know, neutral, listen, and just take a time out and be like, okay, I heard you. Thank you for talking. Who's next? And then talk to the next, you know. What I feel would really benefit you, Group 3, is internal family systems. Again, if you don't talk to a therapist, at least look up that idea. It's the concept of working with sub-personalities. And, you know, feel free to request a video on me talking about internal family systems. It's something I'm really passionate about, and I have even a deck of cards that I do readings with on my inner child wound. reading utilizes some of that. But yeah, I think just being honest with yourself in that regard will really do some wonders for you. I'm kind of approaching the end of my time here for this reading, but let me see. Should I pull any cards here? Yeah, I'm hearing don't pull any cards. I think that was probably enough for you for right now, group 3. But make sure that you are taking everything one step at a time and start with the basics, you know, because right now you want all of your issues to be fixed right away, and that overnight, and that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is you're going to start taking the first steps. Okay? Because, you know, especially, you know, if everything is on fire around you, it's just going to, if you keep focusing on the giant fire, you're going to get overwhelmed. Take it in bite-sized chunks. Be like, okay, first of all, what I need to start doing is I need to start listening to myself. I need to start understanding, like, okay, what are my problems? Define them. Take a sheet of paper and go like, okay, this is what is causing me pain. Like, try to be procedural with it, because ultimately what's going on right now is you don't feel like that emotional stuff is working for you, and you've tried it, but you're not in the state that applying it will work right now. You'll eventually get to that, but yeah. But that's my first step of advice. Again, you're going to need multiple readings on dealing with your situation, group 3. So I wish you the best. Feel free to show up on my Friday night tarot readings to ask specific questions to your situation. Because I'm always there, even if, you know, you don't want to personally reach out in the chat and request anything. You can always energetically tap me on the shoulder, and say something, because I will definitely hear you. I've definitely had that happen before. But yeah, definitely don't give up, and, you know, definitely sending you guys love and rooting for you. You got this. Help is on the way. Just take it one day at a time, and, you know, the light's coming, guys. The light is definitely coming. You just gotta, you know, have a plan, and once you have a plan, you're gonna be golden. So see you guys around. Take care, and I hope to see you next time. Bye. Hello, everyone. You have chosen group 4, which is the yellow group. All right, the yellow paint container. As you can see, we have a special guest. My cat Shunli decided that he was going to show up and chill out after the crazy energy from the last reading. So don't mind him while I attempt to do this reading. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tap into your energy to find out what's missing in your life, group 4. So something about resistance. Something about your resisting happiness, group 4. You definitely have a vibe that you've got some sadness kind of going on. And it's almost like you're having a hard time finding happiness in your life that isn't, you know, tied to specific people. That's kind of just the overall vibe I'm getting from you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards to find out what's missing. Anything else? Okay. 3 more. Ooh. Is that a yes or no? Alright, so it's just these 3 cards. So, alright, group 4. Oof. Okay, I kind of have a vibe of what kind of trauma you guys went through, just kind of off the bat, or there's some kind of just something to do with relationships here, particularly a romantic partner. hurt this group. Yeah, for all of you. So the cards you got were conflict and defeat. Got this guy falling down some stairs. You got suffering in silence. And you have awareness. Now, I feel like the first word I heard was, I feel like this is the psychic group. I feel like you guys are definitely more spiritually aware than the other groups that have been watching, and I feel like this is kind of, you're looking for reassurance and validation for some of the things that you're feeling. Definitely, again, like, my guides specifically don't want me to talk about the specific type of trauma that you are suppressing, or maybe you're not suppressing personally, but you are externally with talking about it with others, which is why for some reason I'm being told to just don't talk about it out loud because it will trigger you. Yeah, stuff to do with parents, siblings, family, just, it was bad. But, like, kind of the good news is, though, group 2, is that I feel like you're very hopeful. Like, this group, compared to the last reading I just did, you guys definitely have been putting work in towards yourselves. Like, you've definitely been actively seeking out how to improve your life. You want better. You're not unrealistic with how you want to achieve it either. Like, you guys know how to achieve what you want when you really put your mind to it, but there's this lack in your life right now that you're kind of being like, is this it? Like, is this what I've been searching for? Because even though I'm trying my best to be happy, I'm happier than I used to be, I'm still not quite satisfied with what's going on. I feel as though I've gone over this trauma and I've done the work. Why aren't I feeling better by now? And I mean, you're feeling better, but you're not feeling resolved, I guess. And so with these cards, it definitely is apparent what you're kind of lacking right now is you just want to move forward and find that happiness that you've been hunting and craving for so long. But what I'm immediately hearing is it's an illusion. What this peace that this happiness that you are perceiving is eluding you is, it's an illusion. It's a metaphor. It's something that is, the words I got were become or begot. It's something that can't be just achieved through healing a wound and then the happiness just comes. It's something that you need to cultivate on your own. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards because I feel like some of you are immediately like, oh God, I keep getting this from other intuitives. My guides are telling me this, blah, blah, blah. Please, Christina, help me out here because I'm hearing the same thing and you just told me something that I already know is the truth, so give me some details. I already know I love you guys off the bat, the fact that I know that that's what you're feeling, because I get it. I get that all the time. So, okay, let me pull some cards. Again, Shenley's here to reassure you that, you know, he is my fuzzy buddy. He can find happiness in all things, and you can too. Great, anything else? More cards. Okay. Nothing else? Alright. Alright, you guys are going to get more cards than I'm normally handing out today. That's good. Because you need a little bit extra push. Okay. Alrighty. Oof. Yeah, I keep hearing, like, again, with this wound that keeps coming up, I keep hearing, don't talk about it, don't talk about it, I don't want to talk about it, but something about what is preventing you from moving in a healthy manner forward, particularly with sexual partners and romantic relationships, is you need to start talking about it with yourself. You don't want to hear that, or at least a piece of you doesn't, and you feel like you've revisited this trauma, but you're not doing it from a healthy place, if that makes sense. This particular type of trauma is deep. It's something that will take time, that it will feel like it's healed and then it's going to reopen again, but it's going to reopen in a different way, if that makes any sense, where you're going to get deeper layers into what happened and how it's affecting you. And you're resistant to the pain of the wound. Now, again, this group, I definitely get the vibe that you've already put work in, so at least you know you aren't disillusioned to, you know, what you're supposed to be doing. But I think since you're in a more advanced state of healing, you have to understand that when you're resisting pain from this situation, it's preventing the full healing benefit from happening, because you don't want to feel that pain again. But unfortunately, some of what needs to come through is allowing yourself to not be resistant to experiencing how you feel. You know, part of what your trauma was specifically group 4 was, it was a shame thing. It was, again, you're being told over and over, don't feel it, didn't happen, don't talk about it, don't. And because of that whole don't talk about it, don't feel it, don't allow it to be, don't allow yourself to have that pain anymore, that is what ultimately that wound is saying, is you have to let it be. You have to let yourself heal the way you need to be, not what you want to be, not what you think healing looks like, what you are. And that's the deeper rooted issue here, because again, it just hurts so much, but when you're running from it and not allowing that pain to flow through, it doesn't release. It stays captured inside of your body in particular. I feel like, again, the specific places that were hurt and violated, which I'm sorry, that may trigger you a little bit, because I think you catch my drift. You know, that trauma is still lurking there, and it won't be released until you allow your healing process to manifest the way it needs to be. And, you know, whether, and you are probably going to have to do it privately, but you have to be honest and ask your body, you know, what's still hurting, why, and what messages does it have for you? You know, and I think you're resistant toward feeling the pain is worse than what the pain remaining there is, because you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work, honey, and, you know, your guides are very proud of you. I'm very proud of you, because you went through some shit. But you got to understand that you can't just ignore pain and then expect it to go away. And this is fundamentally stopping you from achieving the union with those that you're supposed to be with. Okay? And again, you're very spiritually aware. I feel like a majority of you, if not most of you, have a partner in mind, a partner currently in your life in progress, or you're being told you're supposed to be with someone that hasn't manifested yet, and you're frustrated because you keep thinking that your actions are what's going to achieve you the result. But this is one of those situations where you being is what's going to attract them. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the cards, because I'm getting a little bit on a tangent here. But that was all information you needed to hear. Okay, yeah, so you got... So from the the Santa Muerte Tarot, you got the Page of Pentacles. And then these other tarot cards, you got the Four of Cups, the Eight of Swords, which I feel like that one's just a nasty card. You got the Hanged Man in reverse. You got the Six of Swords, Six of Crows. You got the Page of Cups. And then you got the Queen of Wands. And I hear immediately with picking up the Queen of Wands, I feel there's resistance towards action. There's a resistance towards taking the action that will heal you the most, you know, because you're doing a lot of other things and it will heal you eventually, but it won't heal you completely, and it's moving slower and is slowing down your journey. That's why you're kind of here, is because you need to kind of cut through the crap. And, you know, you have a tendency, unfortunately, Group 4, to self-sabotage, but it's almost like when you're trying to read your intuition or obtain readings from others, you're a little distorted in getting a self-fulfilling design already laid out, so you're getting messages that aren't cutting through to the core of what the problem is and getting through to all that. So make sure that when you're working on your intuition, your heart space, and all those places, make sure you are open, and I mean truly open. Ask yourself if at any point in time, you know, you're feeling a certain way, ask, is this the full truth? And if at any point when you're, especially working on this wound, but this is something in general, ask, why can't I accept and hear the truth? Why is it that I don't want to feel a response that may be something I don't want to hear? Is it because of lack of control? Is it because I don't have control over it? Or is it because I'm resistant to what I want to hear and it won't be the outcome I expect? You know what I mean? Like ask those questions, and that might be something worth meditating on, is like, why can't I hear the truth on this situation, on how I should be healing and what I want to heal, you know? And I feel like, again, you deflect a little bit sometimes because you keep going like, well, I've got other stuff I need to work on, but we all know that this wound was pivotal for you, and it's blocking you in more areas than you expect. And you just don't want to address it because, again, you are so focused on, you want to manifest this person. You want to manifest healing the heartache, but whatever this childhood trauma was that fundamentally altered you in a way that it's not resolved, and it's going to keep coming back to hurt you and hurt your relationships, whether you like it or not. Yeah, again, like, I'm looking at all these cards, and yeah, it's just mostly the colors. I'm seeing like this purple and blue energy where it's just, it's sad and it's somber. And again, you've already put in a lot of work, honey. Like, you've already done the hardest part, which is wanting to change, wanting to heal, being willing to face it. It's just, this is taking a new step to your courage. This is facing in a new light, and it's a new type of strength that you haven't been exposed to before. So, you know, and take pride in the fact that you're on this journey and that you've come so far. And, you know, this is going to be one notch under your belt, again, with overcoming what you've already been through. I don't see anything here that you can't get through or won't get through. It's just, you want that clarification. And again, kind of tying back to like this whole what's missing and what's going on, like this happiness thing. Like, I feel like you keep wanting to use another person to fill this happiness void because you're not actively creating it for yourself while you're going through this journey. Like, now that, again, this underlying problem, it keeps wanting to come up and be addressed. And I have a feeling you're like, oh, well, once I heal from this trauma, you know, then that happiness is going to come. And I'm going to say it's going to come easier. I'm not going to lie to you. However, what I am saying, though, is cultivating happiness is an in-progress thing that you have to do alongside of healing from trauma. Because that's part of what happened, was you were disconnected from your ability to create happiness in its own space simultaneously. You know, like, you can Thank you, Shenley. You can work on your depression and your sadness while at the same time work on actively bringing happiness into your life. Whether it be taking time out of your day to admire the sunrise, taking time to do the little things that make you happy throughout the day, whether it be like eating your favorite piece of chocolate in the morning right before you start work. You know, like little things are a great way to start, but ultimately that happiness is about perspective. And because you're so focused on healing and focused on the trauma, it's preventing you from just being and just letting happiness come through with however it has to. Because that's, again, I feel like control is kind of tied into this, where you want to see happiness in the form that you say happiness is, instead of letting it just come naturally, you know? I feel like that makes sense to a lot of you. Just let it kind of come naturally, and, like, again, don't force yourself to put yourself in a position where I have to be this healed in order to get this. Like, no, everything is available to you at once, and it doesn't always come at the same time. You know, it comes and goes in waves, and especially when you're in this healing spot, you know, things are a little lopsided right now. So take it when it comes, and then when it goes away, you know, focus on what's in front of you next. You know, and just one day at a time. Again, it's a cycle, but I feel like, again, group 4, I'm not worried about you guys. You definitely have been making some great progress, and, you know, don't be afraid to talk about what's going on with other people or journal about it. And I mean, when I say honest, I mean be really honest. And that sense of vulnerability is really going to free you up. I feel like, again, this whole idea of, like, don't talk about it, don't say anything, don't feel. That right there, that's really, you know, what's been lacking in your life, is not having that ability to be vulnerable. And I think when you start allowing yourself to just be as you are and let that vulnerability shine through, you'll stop resisting happiness when it shows up. You know? Just let yourself be happy for a little bit, even if it's a small amount. Because I feel like there is also a little resistance to being, you know, too happy, or, like, you know, for example, you're excited about this person that you love, and regardless of what your situation is with them, what's ultimately happening is you're mad at yourself for liking them. But you should also be like, well, situation isn't what you want it to be. However, if seeing that person makes you smile, then take that happiness. You know, you're mad because that person's not in your arms right now, or not doing things the way you want them to, and then you're just letting it make you miserable. And it's like, no, like, you know, that love should just be there the way it is for right now, and learning to appreciate the love for what it is now, rather than trying to saying, oh, well, I can only be happy with this person if they're doing what I want them to do. Then you're missing out, you know, because that person might not even be your person, and that may be the case for some of you. But, you know, that's part of the lesson here. Anyways, though, that was your reading group 4. So, you know, take care of yourself, especially tonight. Make sure you drink some water. Take some extra time to sleep. If you're not sleeping enough, I feel like a bunch of you have been overwhelmed, and you just need to take some time to do a little extra self-love. That's what I'm prescribing you. The doctor is in, and she's telling you how it is. So anyways, though, thank you guys for showing up. And if there's any type of, you know, healing that you want to do, or you know, you just need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out to me via Instagram or on my Facebook page. I do private consultations and healing. And again, I'm kind of the person that you don't have to tell me what your trauma is. I can do what needs to be done, and we don't have to talk about it either, if you're not comfortable with that. So, but yeah, please take care of yourself and understand that you are so beautiful and strong and amazing. So take care, guys. I will see you next time. Hello, everyone. You have chosen group 5, which is the metallic blue color. Check that shit out. And this is going to be your reading about what is missing in your life. I'm going to take a moment to tap into your energy right off the bat. Wow. You're a sparky group 5. Yeah, I just immediately thought of like the blue blur. You're definitely, you got like a fire in your heart. You're kind of I don't know how to describe you guys. You definitely got a lot of natural happiness, kind of on your own. You definitely are driven, or you've got a lot of life in you, that's keeping you motoring. So I'm gonna need a little help to figure out what's missing in your life, because there's something missing. You just don't really know what, and that's kind of why you're here, because you're kind of asking to be like, is there something missing, or isn't there? Am I doing the right thing? Or is this just, I just want to see Christina's reading to see. I feel like you kind of have a mixed bag, group 5, of people watching. So I'm curious to see what comes up. So what's missing? Don't use this deck? Wow. Okay, fine. I was so caught up in your energy, group 5, because y'all are a bunch of lovely people. I'm like, I feel like you guys are the group that I want to go out and just have fun with. Like, go get drinks, just kind of sit and vibe with, chillax. No? Yeah, something, you guys are just very, I don't know. I mean, I guess considering what was kind of going on with the last 4 groups, you guys definitely don't have as much existential crisis things going on and hyper trauma. I mean, if you have been traumatized, you're definitely not as affected or currently struggling compared to the other groups. So don't take that the wrong way. I'm just like, this is kind of nice. It's refreshing. All right. Anything else? Okay. Okay. All right. So just cards from this guy. So you got 6 cards. Perfect. Okay. Interessante. Okay, so oh my gosh. Okay, just felt immediately in just something kind of popped up, if you know what I'm saying. I feel like this group, you're kind of looking for love, but it's a little more complicated than that. It's not like just a romantic partner. It's about kind of attracting love and abundance in your life in general. I feel as though when you're trying to feel satisfied in life right now, like, you definitely have a lot of good things going for you. You don't feel as though you're lost per se. You're just kind of carrying on your merry way. But every once in a while, you get kind of blue. And I don't know if that's why the color's kind of symbolic here, but it's almost like every once in a while you get this feeling like you're missing something or you're lacking, and it's tied to a variety of things. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read off the cards you have. You got the 2 of Swords. You got the Queen of Swords in reverse. You got the 2 of Wands. You got the World. You got the 8 of Wands in reverse. And you got the 6 of Wands. Okay, I feel like what's kind of going on here is there's some letting go that hasn't been done yet that is preventing some movement forward. So it's almost like something about you don't want to hear something. You're kind of in a spot where you don't want to listen to what your heart's telling you. Like, when it comes to what's missing, it's almost like it's not even a person, a place, an object. Like, it's almost like this feeling of you're lacking acceptance for your situation. I feel like you're kind of in a spot where you're asking, is there more, or am I just fine on my own? Like, where is my person, or where is this thing that everyone's telling me I'm missing, but am I really missing it? And I think maybe what you're really missing is you're missing guidance and you're missing clarity about your situation, but specifically from yourself. You're kind of reaching out to kind of figure out, you know, putting into words what exactly is going on because of the sheer fact that you don't have a lot of clear guidance as to what specifically you need to work on, if that makes any sense. You know, like, I feel like there's some things that they're cut and dry, but this missing piece feeling isn't associated with any of that. And that's why I think this reading is particularly unique to you guys, because you happen to be a group that you aren't lacking for trust. You aren't lacking from the traumas. I mean, like, definitely you've been through your own stuff. However, your approach to handling it is much different than what a lot of other people have gone through. And if anything, you guys just need the reassurance that you're okay on your own. And I feel that missing piece, it has a lot to do with yourself, and also making sure you're taking actions for yourself. I feel like this is kind of a reoccurring message, but you guys, group 5, you have a tendency to focus on the needs of others. And so what's missing is there's a lack of boundaries between your needs and other people's. And the missing piece is you. I feel like you kind of have all the stuff that you need right now. You're aligned in where you need to be at right now, and the path you need to be at. And even if it doesn't feel like it, the piece you're ultimately missing on your journey is you being fully there and fully, authentically feeling yourself in the moment and being present. So I don't know if you guys practice mindfulness meditation, but being mindful and present and enjoying and being in life is kind of your missing piece. I mean, these cards have their own specific guidance. However, it's kind of all the same. I don't know. Like, it's almost like again, you need to let go of some ideals that are limiting you. I think you need to let go of this image of yourself that's preventing you from just existing as you're at. You know, because I feel like you sometimes get caught up in advice from other people that you think that you respect, but it's not ultimately applicable for you. Or there's times when you are listening to, for some reason I'm hearing like a podcast, you're listening to something and you feel like, man, I wish I was like that person or whatever. Like, really, you gotta accept where you're at and accept yourself to understand that your journey is fine the way it is, you know? And I think it's easy because, like, we want to improve and whatnot, but in your case, like, there isn't much that needs to be improved that you aren't already working on, or, you know, that focus is preventing you from feeling complete. Yeah, again, I feel like there's a variety of people here watching this particular group. That's why I think my responses are a little jaggedy and not straightforward, but it's kind of true that all of you guys, you know, regardless of what you're going through, you've already got a lot going through you, a lot going for you, and this is just some validation that you're the missing link, you know, and just participating in it, fully being in it is enough. You know, you don't have to have, you know, this big grand destiny or this big grand idea of what you're supposed to be doing. Like, just enjoy the ride and be it fully. You know, you're already doing what you need to do to get through, and it's okay. You don't have to have a laundry list of things to work on either. Yeah, I'm feeling like I shouldn't pull any more cards because, again, I think you just needed that reassurance that it's okay. You know? Just be there. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the highs. Enjoy the lows. Enjoy your fuzzy buddies. You know? Just one day at a time and enjoy life. You know? But if you do actually, you know, are feeling that kind of melancholy come up, you know, take the time to listen to yourself. Let it work itself through, release it, and then rinse and repeat. Maybe practice mindfulness meditation so you can be able to fully feel the moment. But, you know, if you're already doing that or you're already on your way, I'm not very concerned about you guys. So anyways, though, short reading, but I hope it was helpful. And yeah. Anyways, catch me on Fridays for Drunk Tarot reading. If you want to ask any additional questions, feel free to ask them there, or just stop on by in the chat and check them out. Anyways, though, I will see you around next time. Bye! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you have chosen Group 6, which is the red ochre or the brown paint. The brown paint. I don't know why I had to announce this reading with an epic voice, but for some reason I just had that feeling that I had to. I'm going to go ahead and start off by tapping into your energy and seeing what is the overall vibe for what's missing in your life, Group 6. So specifically for you guys, I'm hearing trusting in oneself, but it also has to do with romantic relationships as well as just trust. I don't know, like I have a feeling it's trusting your heart space. It's, yeah, I keep wanting to like cover up my heart, almost like, you know, I have this inability to be myself, or this inability to trust within, you know, trusting inner guidance. Like this piece that's missing is, it's your heart space, girlfriend. Like, oh man, like, I feel kind of this aching because I feel like you've been missing yourself for a long time, and not like what you want yourself to be, but who you truly are. And it's just been so long since you could really just be yourself. Doesn't matter what else is going on with everybody else. It's just that's kind of like this heartache feeling I'm getting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some clarification with cards. So yeah, let's see what kind of comes up. What's missing for Group 6? Yeah, it's having a hard time coming out, and I feel like that's very indicative of your state right now, because I feel like you have a hard time getting stuff coming out of your heart space at all. Like, you're just resistant to being your true self. Is that all? And it's just so hard sometimes to come out. Like, you guys have... I just want to say you guys have really beautiful energy right now. Like, hot damn. Like, I don't know what the deal is with... I just want to, like, bask in your energy for a little bit. And maybe that made you, like blush a little bit, but it's true. Like, I feel like you... That's why you're having such a hard time... Why you feel like something's missing is because you know you have all this, but you don't know how to get that inside to just come out and just be free. And it comes out in spurts, but then other people squash it, or you squash it, or just, I keep hearing, I keep fucking it up. Like, aww, I'm gonna give you a hug, Group 6. Anything else? Is that it? Okay, yeah, I feel like you definitely have... I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you definitely have some deep, beautiful, feminine, flowing energy, deep sexual energy, just, I want to sit and, like, bask in your in your energy a little bit and just sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna keep pulling cards. So anything else? No more cards. All right, this is good. Okay, so what's missing for Group 6's life? Man, I'm blushing a little bit. I think I'm picking up on you guys because I feel like you weren't expecting me to hit on you, or maybe you were because you know you're gorgeous, honey. But it's not even just that. It's the kind of energy that really needs acknowledged on a deeper level. Like, I feel like you get superficial acknowledgement a lot, and it's hindering you. Like, it's definitely making you feel like, what the fuck? I'm doing all the right things, you know, to try and be myself, but all anyone cares about is what's out on the outside, the appearances, the show, the superficial shit, and you're feeling this missing feeling because there's just this artificiality that other people place onto you. Okay. This is where, this is gonna hurt. My heart space, I feel like, man, I feel very, like, flamboyant, or this is a weird energy. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, it's almost like whenever I want to tap into this, your heart gets so just resistant. It's almost like it's a trigger to go deeper into your heart space because of how you've been hurt. And so that's definitely at least what's blocking you from finding out what's missing, is because you can't even get into your heart space, honey. Like, you're literally sitting here trying to figure out what's going on, but every time you try to go a little bit deeper, it's like, nope, nope, nope. That hurts. Nope, nope, nope. Like, you know, like, yeah, there's like this, it's almost like touching a hot stove when it comes to your heart space, because you're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that soul searching. No, I'm gonna go play with the shiny thing over there, or I'm gonna go flirt with that person over there. Like, you're definitely, that's not the word I was gonna use, but promiscuous came up. Like, but it's not even promiscuous. It's almost like, you keep dancing around the topic because you're like, I just don't want to face that. And that's why you're here, because you know that Christina calls me out. Thank you. Thank you, Group 6. I like you guys. I do. Anyways, though, back to the cards. You got Trapped in Fear. And so this first one, again, I think that's really indicative of what I was feeling earlier. You're just so afraid of fear. Like, you're afraid of feeling anything that isn't positivity because you've been hurt so badly in the past that it's almost like, oh, God, all right, here. Again, I feel very dramatic. I feel like all of this surface level, you know, happy stuff is surface level because, you know, the moment you go underneath the happy cloud is when everything bottoms out, and then you're like, holy fuck, I can't manage this. And that's when shit gets real, and you don't want to get real. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, this is... Oh, man, we're getting right into the meat and bones here, guys. Yeah, that Trapped in Fear, like, you're afraid of feeling fear itself. You're afraid of even get into that raw and real meaty stuff because it hurts. Whew. Like, once you get off of that cloud, it's kind of like you are like, well, if I'm not on the fluffy pink cloud, I'm going to be in the depths of hell in my own despair, and I can't have that because I'm trying to keep everything together, and if I don't fucking, you know, keep it together, then my life's gonna implode, and then yeah, it almost like turns into a manic, like, very panicked energy. Anyways, moving on, cards. Financial and material changes. So I feel like you've changed material statuses at some point in your life, or there's something to do with wealth is getting in your way of seeing reality. If not wealth, it could be also the opposite, lack of wealth. I feel like whatever is going on with your material situation is highly influencing how you view yourself, how you view your life. And it's because there's this lack of stability. You're not very stable, and you're dealing with these layers from a superficial lens Because it's hard. It's hard to admit when you don't have the money to live the lifestyle you want and you're not taking the actions to get there. Because let's be honest, Group 6, you're a lot fucking smarter than you allow yourself to be perceived. Because if people perceived you to be as smart as you actually are or as strong as you are, then that means you can't control them and they can't control you. You can't, you know, tell the story for what it is. You can go ahead and continue to play games, play innocent, play dumb when... And it's not just to other people, it's you do it to yourself because you don't want to face this nasty fucking pit of despair that's underneath the cloud. Oh. Yeah, oh damn. I feel bad for you guys because I feel like this is an issue I have where it comes to when you're dealing with some kind of a pain, instead of like crying or actually, you know, expressing your true feelings, you just put on a smile because that's how you were trained to be. Okay, deception and envy. You are so jealous of a lifestyle that other people have, and it's funny because you're jealous of a lifestyle that isn't even real. It's not based on true wealth, true fame, strength, all that other stuff. Like, you are missing an important component of... I'm just hearing deception. You're deceiving yourself of what you want, who you are, and who you surround yourself with. You're definitely not taking the authentic route because it's hard and it hurts. And that authenticity is definitely missing from your life, Group 6. Because this deception is easier to swallow. It's easier to want something that looks shiny and looks like it's beneficial to you. Like, again, like this whole... I feel like you kind of get caught up in the all that glitters is gold. If it looks like you have money, that means you have money. And that ain't the truth. No fucking way. And you feel like you want these material things or you want this type of lifestyle because you're like, well, if I look and act like those people that I think are very successful or what I am comparing myself to or idealizing myself as, then maybe I'm going to find this hole in my life. I'm going to fill it with this because, you know, that's exactly what I'm supposed to be. This is what my ideal is, right? Right? Wrong, bitch. I didn't mean to say bitch, but it had to come out that way because you're not listening. You know. You. And then intuition. And this is where it all comes crashing down. I feel so bad for your groups. I apologize. I feel like I'm being a little savage towards you, but you need it, so you don't feel bad. That's why you're here. Because you know I ain't sugarcoating shit for y'all. But intuition, you know the truth. What's missing in your life is your lack of spirituality, your lack of authenticity, your lack of just... I almost want to like take this piece inside my chest and hold it out and just be like, look at it, damn it. This is who you are. Take your insides and make them out. And your intuition is calling you to do that because that is what you need to be doing right now. And you're not doing it because of, again, fear. Thank you, Shenley, for your lovely entrance. But yeah, your intuition is calling you to look deeper, and it's very loud. Oh my god, I feel like it's like ringing in my ears, or like my third eye is like, you know, kind of aching because I feel like you're on the cusp of your spiritual awakening, or you're in the process of going through it, and you know what your intuition's trying to tell you. You think you don't know, but you fucking know. And it's because you're in your headspace and you're not actually feeling what the truth is. Because, so, intuition is about feelings, okay? I mean, I could sit here and tell you about, like, the basis of intuition and how it's based in feminine energy. And so when it comes to a gut feeling, right? That gut feeling is intuition. It's all based from a space of, it comes from a place other than the left side of your brain. That's why intuitives, one, tend to be women, because again, it's feminine energy, but two, It's also the fact that, you know, when you are in your logical headspace, you are detached from that direct line into your intuition. Because if you are thinking can only get you so far, and logic and whatnot. That's why people, when you're having an existential crisis and all that stuff, the reason why is because you have an imbalance between accepting what is and progressing forward. Now, I could definitely get into a big intellectual debate with y'all and go into my thoughts and feelings about this stuff, but you only have a short amount of time with me for this particular reading, so feel free to show up on Drunk Tarot Reading to ask me some questions, because I feel like y'all got a bunch of questions, but you don't want to ask just yet, because again, you're still on your fluffy little cloud, and you know, when you get your ass kicked and you need some reassurance or guidance through what you're going through, feel free to hit me up. I'll talk you through it, because I too were once on the big fluffy cloud. Not to the extent that y'all are. My cloud was a little bit more angsty. But I'll walk you through it, because again, I feel like you guys definitely got a very complicated situation that needs special handling. Man, what the fuck am I saying? Y'all make me say weird things during these readings, but okay, so we know what's missing now. We've kind of touched on that. So what do you need to do to fix it? Yeah, I'm gonna need to pull some cards. Unless, Shenley, do you have any recommendations for the lovely people in Group 6? No. Lots more cards. Anything else? I'm not saying that. So stop it. What's missing in your life? Do. I don't know why I'm feeling very musical all of a sudden. Maybe that's what you need. Y'all need a little more music in your life. Go write a song about your problems. Just be all like, you know, I've got some issues, and I got some tissues, but they ain't helping the pain go away. Anything else? Fuck. Oh, man. Yeah, y'all got me giggly. Yeah, again, it's almost like, you know, I understand you're trying to make me laugh, but it's the kind of laughter that is preventing from getting deeper into things. It's like the nervous laughter, or the laughter on top of someone who's weeping. No, don't say that. Yeah, that's exactly it. Your energy immediately was like, don't say it, don't call me out like that. And I'm like, well, I am calling it as I see it, because that's what you're here for. Mind over mania. Getting you out of that mania space. So, okay. Group 6. Here's what you can do to kind of help with your situation. So you got the King of Pentacles in reverse, which it's kind of funny. You got this, like, green dude, Jesus-like dude on a tree. With a dragon and shit. You got the 5 of Wands upright. Yeah, and feel free to, whenever I'm doing these readings, since I feel like a couple of you are newbies to intuitive readings, you know, I'm big about, because I'm strictly from the school of thought of relying on intuition rather than memorizing cards, because that's, you know, not what makes tarot work. You know, feel free to look at pictures too, and pause the video at any point in time to look at a picture, because there may be hidden messages in that. I was divinely guided to ask you to do that. But anyways, Page of Swords. Also, I'm being told you need to go back and watch Group 1. For some of you. If you feel inclined, definitely do it, but if not, you know, Have to. Wheel of Fortune. Oh, that card is so pretty. All the pretty colors. You like pretty colors, right? Doesn't matter? Okay. Oh, I like pretty colors. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You got the Ace of Wands. You can also go ahead and look up these cards too online, so you can get the generic reading, but as I said, that's not how intuition works. So you got the, what is this? Is this a 9 or a 6? Yeah, so this is the 6 of Cups in reverse. It's like a lady. Busty lady. The 6 of Wands in reverse. So you got another lady cutting things down. You got the Hierophant. Oh, you're very... Okay. Okay. Hush. The 7 of Swords. Dude sitting in a casket. That's... I don't know why I'm laughing. Because this isn't funny. So I immediately got the vibe that you're kind of traditional group 6 in the sense that your home life traditions are preventing you from expanding deeper into your intuitive line of thought. You're very rigid and structured on how you want things to be and what your perception of reality is. And it's okay to be traditional. I'm not knocking the tradition, but what I am saying is what's definitely coming up here is your perception of what is right and wrong is not what your intuition is telling you and is not what your heart space is telling you. And, you know, it's okay to rely upon a foundation. I think having foundations is good. And consistency is good, especially because you seem to be very tumultuous in what's going on. However, your structure needs to be recalibrated and more aligned with what your heart space is saying. Like, again, I just feel in my heart space, there is just an ache right there because you know how you're living your life right now is not in line with where you want to be, and that it's not getting you to where you want to be. And, you know, yeah, I'm getting a little real right now because there's, like, again, you have this person sitting in this grave right now where it's like, it's almost like in this picture, he's debating, you know, do I just lay down and settle? Is this kind of what my life is supposed to be like? Is this what I'm gonna end up like? Like, it's almost like you're kind of at this decision point where you don't know why you're being called in a direction that doesn't make any sense to people you don't know, or you don't know why, and you're reluctant because that darkness that's kind of sitting inside of you, you don't want to face it because it means letting go of what you have right now. And it's scary to you. Again, you're on that fluffy cloud for a reason. It's because it was the best way for you to rise out of that darkness. You feel like you're a bad person. I'm sorry. Wow, shit. There's a lot of stuff that needs to come out of you. So I hope you're watching some of my other readings because I feel like there's a lot that needs to be said here from your heart space. But you feel like you're a bad person. You feel like if you give up on what your traditional idea of good and worthy is, you're going to lose yourself in the darkness. Because you have lost yourself in the darkness. And I want this reading to reassure you that as long as you are following your true north, you are listening to your intuition, not your subconscious fears. You're not listening to stupid fucking people. I don't know why that came out that way. There's some external influence that's altering your perception, and you know this. Man, I started getting angry. It's like up and down my spine. You know what you want to hear, and these people know what you want to hear, and they're utilizing that to prevent you from seeing the truth of who you are and what you want to be. because they're making it about them. Again, I feel like, again, something with this tradition, this family values, either your family is putting pressure on you to be someone you are not, your traditional values are preventing you from being your true self, because either you view it as a sin, as something bad, as unworthy, and you're afraid that your family won't accept you. You'll get excommunicated from everything you've built or have left behind, and you tried finding a new place and created that place, but suddenly you're finding it doesn't suit you and doesn't fit you anymore. And it's okay. You're growing, Group 6. You have so much available to you. And again, whether you like it or not, Destiny's calling you in a different direction, and you need to just your fear needs to shut the fuck up and listen to your intuition. Listen to where you need to go and stop questioning it, because you are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Again, it's kind of funny because, like, you got like these two topless dudes on the cards here. You got, like, you know, Tree Man and then the person with the Five of Wands. I feel like, you know, tapping into your masculine energy and releasing what's been holding back, like taking the reins and getting control of what you need to get control of. I feel like you're charging into battle against yourself when really you're pitted against yourself because other people are pushing that on you. I feel like this internal conflict and this inner hate is projections from other people that they have placed on you. Now, you've done shit and you know this. However, like, the compounding feelings and healing that needs to be done, you know, was made worse by other people. And as they're digging into your wounds, like, they want to keep you down. And you know this, and you don't want to fucking hear it, but, you know, it's right. You know, and this pit of despair that you're so afraid of isn't like, it's not like you can't come back out of it. You've already been through that place. You know the roads. So now you just need to go home. You know? And you don't have to do it alone either. I feel like, again, you're trying to protect other people from your darkness. You're trying to protect yourself from your darkness, and you're afraid that you're going to lose it all if you face this shit. Because you learned that people like you when you're on your pink cloud, but when you're in your hell space, no one wants you around. And part of that is, you know, you're going to need to put the work in on yourself, but you're also going to have to accept that you aren't perfect and you're still worthy of love. And anyone who isn't willing to work with you through that needs to go. Okay? Like, they need to go. You've got this beautiful, you know, energy that is so amazing, and other people love it too, and you're going to find it. You know, don't keep giving in to things that you know are not what's meant for you because you want to make other people happy and because you want to protect other people. You can't protect other people from all of you because that's not you being your authentic self. Okay? Like, you need to take action on this too. Like, I feel like you feel really trapped by life, and that's what's missing is, you know, you're letting yourself be trapped by ideas, people, things, and again, it would be a real shame if you just settled and not let you live life the way that you need to. But again, I have a feeling you won't let that happen because that's how amazing you are. You're too strong to keep putting up with this shit. And the reason why you're here with me is not because you're not going to figure it out on your own. It's because you need the ass kicking because something else is driving you to go where you need to go a little faster and in a different projection than maybe what you think is going on. You know, all these things interact and coincide for a reason. And you just need to take action and be brave, you know? You're so brave for overcoming the things you have. And again, you crawled out of that hell space. All right? You did that. No one else did it for you. You did. And just because it scares you doesn't mean that you can't overcome it again and that it will have the same hold on you that it used to. You learned. You're not the same person anymore. And now you have people who can help you. And you can help you too now. Especially, like, again, as your intuitive gifts grow and you stop resisting it, you're going to find life is going to be, it's going to be different. It's going to change. And that's hard and it's scary, but you're definitely not going to be alone. And I guarantee you, it's going to be a lot better than where you're at. A hell of a lot better. I want to give you all such big hugs. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, group 6, feel free to reach out. I feel like some of you are very scared to do so because you don't understand what's happening. You're kind of just, you don't know what to do, and you don't want to admit that you don't know what to do because that, again, reflects on your image. And again, I feel like group 6, you're very image driven because you're scared that no one's going to accept your vulnerability or your demons. But I can tell you by the fact that I am a stranger and I'm reading you out right now that, you know, I get you. And regardless of if we ever end up talking about it, I'm here to support you and send you as much love as possible. And, you know, feel free, again, if you're ever watching my Drunk Tarot reading and you don't feel comfortable speaking up in the chat, always feel free to energetically reach out, tap me on the shoulder and ask for a reading, because I have done that before. I will, you know, drop what I'm doing and do readings for people that I can't see because y'all deserve it. Or, you know, just keep working on your intuition. Start doing some chakra work, start breath work, meditations, go out in nature, you fuck nugget. You know, take some time to just, you know, relax and detox. And, you know, it's going to come to you. One step at a time, baby. One step at a time. All right, well, that is all. So I will see you guys next time. Stay cool, people. Bye-bye.